There are cars built to move people. There are cars built to impress them. And then there are machines that feel like they arrive from a different timeline altogether. The 2026 Mercedes Maybach GLS 800 Black Series belongs to that final category. This is not an SUV that politely joins traffic. It alters the atmosphere around it. It enters space the way a storm front does, silently, heavily, and with an unspoken promise that everything nearby will react. The moment it comes into view, something shifts. You do not simply look at it, you register it. A deep matte black exterior swallows reflections instead of returning them, as if light itself hesitates before touching its surface. This is not paint meant to sparkle. It is paint meant to dominate. The finish feels intentional, calculated, almost ceremonial, like armor worn by something that does not expect resistance. Calling this design luxury feels insufficient. Luxury implies comfort. This feels closer to authority. Mercedes did not shape the Black Series to be admired from afar like a piece of art behind glass. They shaped it to loom, to occupy space, to remind you that some objects are meant to command rather than request attention. Every contour feels sharpened, every proportion widened and grounded, giving the GLS 800 a stance that suggests permanence rather than motion. The front fascia no longer behaves like a welcoming face. It feels like a threshold. Vertical darkened grille elements rise like pillars, framing an opening that feels more architectural than automotive. This is not a grille that smiles. It stands guard. The hood stretches forward with a sense of weight and purpose, as if the car is leaning into the future before it even starts moving. And yet, despite its aggression, nothing feels chaotic. This is restraint perfected. The Black Series does not chase attention through excessive detailing. It achieves dominance through discipline. Its presence is quiet but heavy, confident but never desperate, like someone who enters a room and causes conversation to stop, not because they demand it, but because it feels instinctive to acknowledge them. This is what separates the GLS 800 Black Series from other ultra-luxury SUVs. It does not compete within the segment. It steps outside of it. It feels less like an evolution and more like a declaration, proof that Mercedes Maybach is no longer just refining luxury, but redefining what power on four wheels is supposed to feel like. And this is only the first impression. Because once you start walking around it, once you notice how every angle refuses repetition, you begin to realize something unsettling. This car was not designed to blend into the world. It was designed to stand above it. And in part two, the design only becomes more intimidating the closer you look. The longer you study the 2026 Maybach GLS 800 Black Series, the more it reveals itself as something closer to moving sculpture than conventional cars design. No surface exists without intention, no curve feels borrowed. This SUV does not rely on familiar luxury cues, it rewrites them with a darker, more assertive vocabulary. Start with the proportions. The Black Series sits lower, wider, and more grounded than any standard GLS, giving it a posture that feels planted and immovable. The wheel arches swell with controlled muscle housing, massive Black Series specific wheels that blur the line between elegance and machinery. They do not look decorative. They look engineered, like rotating fortifications rather than rims. From the side, the car reads like a perfectly tailored suit stretched over a heavyweight frame. The matte black finish reacts subtly to changes in light, shifting depth rather than color. Under street lamps or moonlight, the body appears alive, as though shadows are moving across it, even when it stands still. It is the kind of visual trickery usually reserved for high-end concept cars, except this one exists in the real world. The rear design abandons the soft, rounded luxury SUV formula entirely. Instead, it tapers with confidence, echoing the stern of a high-performance yacht cutting through dark water. Quad exhaust outlets sit low and wide, understated yet threatening, hinting that refinement here is not the absence of power, but its restraint. Every detail reinforces the same philosophy. Darkened Maybach insignias do not announce wealth, they imply it. Trim pieces avoid unnecessary shine. Even the lighting elements feel purposeful rather than decorative, sharp and precise, like carefully placed punctuation marks in a powerful sentence. What is remarkable is how unified it all feels. Many performance luxury SUVs struggle with identity, torn between comfort and aggression. The GLS 800 Black Series does not compromise, it integrates. Performance becomes elegance. Luxury becomes intimidation. The result is a design language that feels inevitable, as if this exact car has always been waiting to exist. This is not an SUV you admire casually while walking past. It slows you down, it forces you to circle it, to absorb it, to recognize that someone made a deliberate decision to push beyond what too much usually means and somehow landed on something perfectly balanced. And yet, as commanding as the exterior is, it only prepares you for what comes next. Because opening the door does not just reveal an interior, it transports you into a completely different state of being. And in part 3, stepping inside changes everything you thought luxury could feel like. The moment you enter the cabin of the Maybach GLS 800 Black Series, the outside world loses relevance. This is not a space designed merely to carry passengers. It is designed to isolate them from noise, from chaos, from compromise. You do not sit inside this car, you settle into it. The interior aesthetic is unapologetically monochrome, yet impossibly rich. Deep black diamond quilted leather wraps nearly every surface, stitched with precision that feels closer to haute couture than automotive upholstery. Nothing creaks, nothing feels thin. Every touchpoint communicates permanence, as if the materials were chosen not for trend but for legacy. The front cabin feels commanding, but it is the rear that defines the experience. These are not seats, they are thrones. Fully reclining, heated, cooled, massaging, and contoured to support you in a way that erases the concept of fatigue. The moment you lean back, the idea of arriving tired becomes irrelevant. You are not being transported. You are being preserved. Ambient lighting flows through the cabin like a living element, programmable in tones that shift the emotional temperature of the space. Calm, focused dominance, each setting feels intentional. Above you, the panoramic roof creates a sense of openness without exposure, reminding you that the world exists outside but does not intrude. Sound inside the Black Series is not played, it is constructed. The audio system feels architectural, placing instruments and tones with such clarity that music becomes physical. Bass does not vibrate, it envelops. Highs do not pierce, they glide. Silence, when chosen, is just as powerful, sealed in by insulation so effective, it feels almost unnatural. Technology here does not overwhelm. Screens are integrated, not imposed. Controls respond with subtle resistance, reinforcing the sense that everything has weight and consequence. This cabin does not chase futuristic gimmicks. It refines what already works until it feels untouchable. But beneath all this serenity lies something else. A restrained tension. A reminder that luxury here is not softness alone. It is discipline paired with force. Because hidden under this calm is an engine built to rewrite expectations. And when that power finally reveals itself, it does not explode, it asserts. In part 4, we uncover why the Black Series moves like destiny rather than speed. Power in the Maybach GLS 800 Black Series does not announce itself with drama. It waits. An estimated 800 horsepower lives beneath the hood, but it is delivered with such refinement that acceleration feels less like an event and more like an outcome. Press the pedal and the car does not surge, it advances. The horizon simply comes closer as if summoned. Despite its size and mass, the Black Series moves with composure that borders on disbelief. Advanced suspension systems read the road before you do, flattening imperfections and maintaining balance with almost unsettling calm. Corners feel measured. Straightaways feel inevitable. This is not a car that reacts to the road. It imposes order upon it. The engine note remains subdued, deep, and controlled. There is no need for theatrics. Power here is not proven through noise, it is proven through certainty. You feel it not through sound, but through the way other cars subconsciously yield space. On the road, the GLS 800 Black Series does not compete with Bentley's, Rolls-Royces, or high-performance SUVs. It renders comparison unnecessary. Where others chase spectacle, this Maybach embodies sovereignty. It does not ask to be noticed. It assumes it will be, and that is what makes this car's linger in your mind long after it is gone. In a world obsessed with louder, faster, flashier machines, the Black Series reminds us that true dominance is quiet. It is controlled. It is undeniable. This SUV is not just a luxury product, it is a statement about how power evolves. About how confidence matures into restraint. About how presence, when perfected, no longer needs validation. The 2026 Mercedes Maybach GLS 800 Black Series will not be remembered as just another model year. It will be remembered as a moment when luxury stopped trying to impress and started commanding silence instead. Because when this car arrives, conversations pause. Not out of fear, not out of envy, but out of instinct. And once you understand that, you realize the world may never look at luxury SUVs the same way again.